Now move to item 9, which is a asset recycling item, and it is about a property in Titoki Street in Parnell. And I welcome Chantel and Ross Churnside to introduce this item. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, Chair. Actually, Anthony Lewis is going to talk to the detail of the item. So can I just pass over to Anthony, please?
Okay. Good morning.
Sure,
Anthony.
Hopefully you can see me. I've got my blue Iki Panuku shirt on, so hopefully you can see that. Good morning. Good to see the committee after such a long time. What we have here is an area of stocked road on Titoki Street, Parnell. It is adjacent to the domain, but has never been part of the domain. It is surrounded on 3 sides by the adjacent landowner who is seeking to acquire it. It looks like they've probably been maintaining it for at least 40 years. There is no public access to the site. There are a number of significant trees adjacent in the domain and in the road reserve. The trunks are not in the site, however, the drip line and possibly the root extent may extend into the site. However, there are existing Auckland Unitary Plan tree protection rules which would limit and protect the trees there. There's also a railway line under the site and under the adjacent private land, which would restrict development in terms of geotech restrictions, and that would restrict what the adjacent landowner could actually put into the site. We have consulted with Mana Whenua. One iwi entity did advise it was of some significance. We did make quite clear in the consultation that we could only sell the site to the adjacent landowner. We've had further discussions with that iwi entity, and they're pretty happy with just their notification of their significance being handed over to any future purchaser. Happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Anthony. I'll start off with the first question, if I may. There is in the report mentioned the fact that the trees, the drip line of the trees, are you confident that the resolution that we have that I put up in C protects? I know the trees are not on the property that's being sold, but are you confident that the resolution in C looks after the drip line of the great trees that are on on our land?
Yeah, sure. We can certainly add something like a consent notice requiring any purchaser to get appropriate approval should they choose to do any work on the site and on the rest of their site, because their property extends down the length of the domain as well. So it would impact not only on the area for disposal, but also the rest of their one domain drive property.
So you are suggesting another resolution, are you, or a stronger resolution?
No, resolution C is fine.
The resolution C is fine. Okay, thank you. Councillor Walker, question from you?
Yes, I have a question. Has there been any consideration given to any form of protection, like having a covenant over the trees or over the land, or requiring that as a condition? And the reason I ask that question is that we know that the existing protections under the unitary plan are not proving effective, because we're seeing wholesale removal of trees. The penalties and the like are completely insufficient, and the monitoring and the enforcement is not there. So my question is around, are we exploring avenues such as covenanting to protect trees in this instance?
Through the chair, so the trees are actually in the domain or in the road reserve. They're not actually in this site.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the key point, Wayne. So the trees are actually on our land, and it was just the drip line that was of concern, and C deals with that.
I understand that, Madam Chair. Having said that, we could have, for example, a covenant over the area of the drip line of the trees, because I would suggest that if we don't have the strongest form of protection, frankly, the unitary plan just doesn't cut it, and our existing protections don't cut it. So is that something that we have explored, Madam Chair? That's my question.
Madam Chair, it's Letitia Edwards here from Iki Panuku. I'm also on the call just waiting for our next item. If I could just intervene here, yes, that's certainly something that will be explored as part of the sales process. Should this property be approved for sale. As Anthony has mentioned, the trees in question are not on the site in particular, are not specifically on the site. However, as part of the sales process, we can undertake numerous options to ensure that the trees on the adjacent council-owned site are protected. That may include covenanting them, and it may include having a consent requirement so that there's, should this land be developed, approvals would have to be sought from council as the adjoining owner. So we do have numerous options. If it is approved for sale, we will certainly work through what is the best option for this property. And I think, Madam Chair, your proposed resolution or recommendation 3 beautifully captures the options that we can potentially look into, and that we will.
Thank you for that answer. I really appreciate that, Letitia. Thank you. I should move it, and Councillor Fletcher, yes, I'd be delighted for you to second it. Thank you. Any other questions? Any comments? Well, I'll just have a brief...
Madam Chair,
I
had a request for a comment in the sidebar, but it's only brief.
Sorry, yes, please have a comment, Councillor. Sorry, my sidebar is just not working. I'm going to have to do it a different way. Thank you.
Oh, Madam Chair, I'm so excited because I have an identical Lenovo to council laptop, which I operated yesterday for the first time, and I have connectivity, and it's just made a real difference. All I wanted to comment on, Madam Chair, is I'm familiar with this particular site. I don't believe that we are going to compromise the amenity of any Aucklander by the disposal of this. And I am extremely mindful of the perilous state of our finances and the uncertainty that we have with COVID. So I just want the assurance and that from Anthony that we are going to optimise the sale. There will be some value for the neighbouring property that wishes to acquire it. So on the basis that we are getting value for money out of that site, I feel comfortable with it, and I thank you for going ahead with the additional C that will actually afford some protection, and for Letitia's assurances on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm just making sure I've got no comments. No. Right. I'm not going to add to that. You've said it all very eloquently. Thank you. So I will now take it to the vote, being moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Fletcher. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. We now move to item 10, which is an